Sometimes we use rattle cans, because millionaires we ain't. And sometimes the budget doesn't allow for high-dollar paint. The budget on this truck is low, though the motivation is high. We may not always do our best, but at least we always try. Now here I am, working on my boy's truck, all alone and by myself. It seems that 12-year-old has put this on a shelf. Motivations when you're young sometimes go astray. And you know what, little kids, they just need to get out and play. So I'll happily work on his truck. It fills me full of pride. While he's on his Xbox or Game Boy deep inside, I'll spend my time as I must because this is what I know. And later down the road, when he drives it, it will show. He'll feel the pride that I feel that we've put into this truck. And if he doesn't, well, I just don't give a... Boy, that was almost too much now, wasn't it? Hey, what's cracking, everybody? Back to the C10. It's about time. You know, we've painted the motorcycle parts over top of it, so there's a purple glaze. I sprayed clear over some of my wife's projects, so there's a good clear glaze in here. The poor truck's in here watching me work on everything else but it. It's so sad. We've got all the welding done on the driver's side. We need to clean it up, seal it, and paint it. And then we're done. We can hang the fender and the inner fender. And that's what we're going to get into doing today. If you have one of these welding helmets and you don't use it for stuff like this, you're out of your mind. This is definitely the best way to keep from getting stuff in your eyes, especially working under a car. These auto darkening helmets, you turn it to grind, you won't get anything in your face, and you look awesome too, like Darth Vader. Luke, I am your father. We got her all cleaned up, all wire brushed off. Now seal her. Not silicone, not the stuff you steal from your wife's bathroom. This is sealer. This is automotive sealer bought at an automotive store. Now, it's cheaper to buy it at a body shop store than it is to buy it at Advance or AutoZone. They want like $19, $25 for a tube. Seal at the auto parts store, it's like $12. So, bought it at the auto parts store. Had the stuff laying around for a while, so we've got quite a big glob of stuff on the top, but I'm cheap. We're going to use what's left. The reason we seal. Why do we seal stuff? We don't want moisture getting up in the welds. We don't want moisture coming up through the floor. We don't want a mess. We don't want to have to fight rust again. So as you clean it up, you seal it up. And yes, this is beige sealer. It was dirt cheap. It was on discount because it's beige. So, but who cares? Who's going to look under this truck and say, oh, you got beige sealer? Especially once we get all the undercoating on. We paint and undercoat, you won't be able to tell. And if you do, if you're laying under this truck and you're complaining, oh, you didn't do that right. You didn't do that right. Maybe you shouldn't be laying under this truck. So I'm sure everybody like me has parts here, parts there, and just about parts everywhere. To where you almost lose parts, you can't find parts, you don't know where the parts went, you don't know where they are. So back when we started this truck, we went and bought a parts truck. And there's a lot of stuff in the back of the parts truck. So here we go to the parts truck. And let's that was easy. Now, the easiest way I figured out to do this is lay the inner fender in the truck on the tire. It's a pain to get up under there once the fender's on. I usually smash my fingers and say icky bicky bad words. So I like to lay it in there first. And then lay the fender up on top and you can slide it right up in. Do it however you want. Now, we're not finished with this yet. We're going to end up taking the walk off the whole way off this truck to redo a lot of things on the engine. We want to make it carbureted. I want to clean some stuff up. This is just temporary to put it all back together. When we have it off, we'll sand the whole inside of it and paint it. That is a ways down the road. So right now, we're just going to put the fender back on and get it all bolted together. She started. Tips, tricks, and tools of the trade to kick your project into high gear. Nibby's tip of the day. Anti-seize lubricant. Man, I use this on everything. And if you're not careful, it'll get everywhere. I swear, if somebody wants to track you, they put a little bit of this in your finger, they'll be able to track you for days. Silver fingerprints on the house, silver fingerprints everywhere. Silver, it gets everywhere and it doesn't take long. Anytime you're going to tear something back apart, I don't care what it is, or even if you want it to stay together, anti-seize is the way to go. It keeps things from galling up. I put it on lug nuts, I put it on body bolts, I put it on everything because I'm reusing body bolts and they're not brand new bolts. So I'm using the anti-seize. That way I can take everything back apart because we all know that when we build these old trucks, we hit stuff, we wreck stuff, we've got to tear stuff back apart. So buy a bottle of anti-seize. This is Napa's brand. I've got a bottle of Permatex anti-seize. It really doesn't matter. And I'm telling you, man, this stuff gets
Brought to you by Dell's Performance. You want performance? Go straight to Dell.
Now, anybody that's ever worked on a sport body Chevy knows that this bolt and these two bolts are the hardest two to get to. You need a long one. You need to have one you can show off and say, mine is this long. Look how long mine is. Even though this isn't final assembly, never we're taking it back. Still can't have the fender hit you. We're going to have that door open and shut open, the shutters to go off. And we may have to push this out and move it along somewhere else. We're going to have that door open. So, just going to take a screwdriver here, probably forward, much force is loose. Tighten the top bolt, that'll adjust it. It's not perfect, but we can open and shut the door and we'll be able to move stuff around. Like I said, this will all the final adjustment we'll do when we put the front end back on. This will be coming back off. So that was what I wanted to accomplish today. Pretty happy about it. Found the magical bucket of bolts, not Randy's bucket of bolts, but a bucket of bolts that worked. So I guess that's a win-win. I've got some new video editing equipment that I hope will make my videos a little better. And I guess time will tell. So until next time, stay aware, stay safe, and do some of your own drugs. Don't waste it.